Next, let me introduce the third speaker. Tomoka Yamada from Hiroshima Institute of Technology will deliver the speech under the title of The Skills of a Photographer. The Skills of a Photographer. Tomoka Yamada, please come up to the center of the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, distinguished judges, ladies and gentlemen. All right, everyone, look at the camera. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, smile! When I was a freshman, I worked at the photo studio. I took countless family portraits and candid shots at wedding banquets. I enjoyed helping people capture their happiest moments. As I fiddled with the camera, I came to a realization. Being a good photographer takes more than just owning a camera. You need the right distance and the right focus. You need the skills to see things from the right angle, in the right light, so that even ordinary or unpleasant scenes can be made to shine. That realization takes me back to my high school years, when I faced the biggest struggle of my life. And it was that insight that helped me rise again and stand tall after that difficult time. Let me share my little story. At the end of high school, I failed my university entrance exam. I couldn't accept it because I naively believed that effort was bound to bear fruit if I truly applied myself. Seeing my friends succeed only convinced me further that I no longer had what it takes. Failures and setbacks are part of being alive. If it occurs at your moment of truth, whether in job hunting, career advancement, financial decisions, or personal relationships, it can feel like the end of the world. Even if you have managed to avoid pitfalls, who knows? Your streak of good fortunes might come to an end tomorrow. Today, setbacks can be devastating for young people. They are said to be weak when hit, meaning too sensitive or fragile when facing difficulties. A survey by JMA Management Center Incorporated reported that about 65% of young people have poor stress resilience, being more impacted by failures than you might think. Today's environment makes this fragility matter even more. Social media fills our daily lives, constantly surrounding us with other people's happiness, their meals, trips, and achievements. People post only the bright side to boost their self-esteem. Surrounded by this kind of poisonous positivity, we end up comparing ourselves and feeling inferior. A University of Michigan study found that the more often people used Facebook, the worse they felt afterward. We now live in a world where it feels like we can't afford to fail. Prospect theory suggests that we feel the pain of a loss about twice as strongly as the joy of a gain. This means that without the right mindset, we can easily get stuck in despair. For me, a turning point came during a 1-month study abroad program in the US. There, I met another student who had also failed the university entrance exam. Realizing we were in the same shoes, we talked for hours and hours about our situations. And you know what? I started to feel better. What struck me most during the program was my homestay, especially my host sister. Like many American students, she studied, yes, but she also poured herself into sports, cooking, and friendships. She saw school as just one part of life, not the whole picture. That new perspective gave me the courage to stop isolating myself, start studying again, and approach my education with a renewed sense of purpose. This experience reminded me that during my time at the photo studio, I had gained a new lens through which to view my failure. It was through this lens that I began to understand failure in a new way. A good photographer knows the importance of distance. If the camera is too close, the picture is distorted. Failure works the same way. When it's too fresh, it feels overwhelming. I was fortunate to have an almost timeless conversation with that fellow participant, which gave me some emotional distance from my failure. There are many kinds of distance. With time, for example, older people often look back on their failures and say, "That was meant to be." That's time distance. There can also be spatial or social distance. In the end, taking the right distance is about choosing where we look at the subject from. A photographer also needs skills to capture the subject well. Choosing the right angle, adjusting the focus, and lighting can make a picture stand out, even look beautiful. These skills are, in essence, about how we look at the subject. Similarly, when we face setbacks, we need to frame them carefully to find the right angle, light, and focus. My host sister helped me do just that. She showed me which parts of my life to focus on and highlight. In this case, non-academic experiences. And from what angle to view my failure. Not as a defining flaw, but as just one part of a larger picture. A photographer adds their personal touch. Likewise, our personal touch lies in how we describe what happened, through language. I stopped calling it a dead end and began calling it a turning point. A simple shift in words, but it made the failure look different. To develop this ability, we need to interact with others and read good books to discover new ways of giving meaning to our past. So, ladies and gentlemen, be the photographer of your own life. With the right distance and the right framing, you can redefine any experience in a meaningful way. And if you can do that, even failure can become a masterpiece. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tomoka Yamada. Then we will have a question and answer session. Dr. Sasayama, please begin.
All right, so thank you, Tomoka, for your very inspiring speech. You're ready for some questions?
Yes.
All right. So for you, having someone who went through a similar experience helped you keep some distance from your own experience, yeah? So how else do you think we can keep emotional distance from what you're calling failure?
For me, I was fortunate. Fortunately, I met another student who had also had a university exam. But if you don't have friends or people around you, you can rely on the social support system, like counseling. If you feel stuck and you cannot tell anyone or can talk anyone close to you, you should rely on them. And I believe they have a clever idea up their sleeve.
All right, thank you. So my next question is, in many ways, it's true that students in the US approach school education very differently from students in Japan. Why do you think that might be?
So is the American students are different to Japanese students?
Right, so in your speech, you said your host sister approached, she sees school education very differently from how you saw it originally.
Yeah.
So can you explain a little bit?
Yes, of course. So in Japan, I have some friends, but actually, Japanese people don't want to bother others. Don't to bother others. So sometimes we often just smile and pretend to be okay, so that you don't cause any problems for others. So I didn't feel like I could open up to anyone in Japan. But in the U.S., there is a culture. There is a culture of sharing your experiences and trying to build deeper relationships by telling personal stories. So talking with my host family helped me gain many new perspectives, and that also helped me open up my mind.
Thank you. So, like in your case, we often learn a lot from failures. Do you think failure is necessary for success?
For success, I think so. If you face failure and if you think about and look back on your failure, and if you try to overcome and get more new perspectives, that would help you move forward again, and you will see the next goal, and your life will be more happily and successfully.
All right, thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sasayama. Then, Dr. Jacobson, please.
Thank you for your speech. This topic of failure and of recovery is something that everyone in this room has felt, and I appreciate your honesty to tackle the issue head on. Great. Also wanted to acknowledge you for your enthusiasm and energy at the beginning. Your opening was quite effective, I think, and it connected to the rest of your talk. My first question is, as a young person in Japan, you have so many possibilities for a part-time job. Can you take us through the process by which you chose a photo studio?
Well, I always like taking photos, and I have been taking photos with a digital camera since I was a child. So back in high school student, I've always wanted to work at photo studio. So I always looked up, and I found it, and I applied for that.
Have you continued photography as a hobby or as something that you're interested in?
Yes, my hobby is taking picture, of course.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. In the first part of your speech, you cite a lot of statistics about resilience among young people, and you mentioned social media. Australia recently banned the use of social media for young people 16 and under. What do you think of that as a solution to build resilience?
I think the pressure your Australians organization is very good for young people because they have poor stress resilience, and yes, they don't know how to use them. So yeah, I think it's a very good idea, and every country, even in Japan, we should get in. We should organize some situations, some solutions like that.
Great. Somewhere in your speech, you talked about meeting new people and reading great books in order to get a sense of the different ways to view your past. If you had a magic time machine, who would you want to talk to, either living or dead, to get a new perspective on your past?
I would like to use time machine, and I want to go Showa era, because I believe today because people are very cautious about harassment, and many adults hesitate to discipline young people strictly. So, But in Showa era, I heard from a lot of older people that they experienced so terrible and hard things. So I would see in my eyes those situations, and I want to know how they overcome and reinterpret those events, those experiences.
Do you think life is just too easy for young people now, that they don't have to go through some of those challenges?
I don't believe that because I believe that opportunities for young people to build mental resilience is very less than Showa era. So we have to take on a lot of challenges and build our mental resilience.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jacobson. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Sasayama, Dr. Jacobson, and Tomoka Yamada. Tomoka Yamada, please return to your seat.